Indie games are great in the way they can fill a void left by developers. If a certain franchise just stops getting entries, indie game developers can come along and say, fine, I'll do it myself. While the Paper Mario series still has entries coming out every now and then, they have long abandoned the gameplay style that made them popular. This has caused a few projects to try and pick up the torch, with one of the big ones being Moonsprout Games with Bug Fables, Everlasting Sapling, released in 2019. From the presentation to the gameplay, from the broad strokes to a lot of the finer details, the inspiration is very clear. But Bug Fables isn't just copying the formula, but in many ways improving upon it. It's worth playing, Paper Mario fan or not. So let's take a look at a great RPG that aims to fill a void long abandoned. In the lore of the Bug Fables world, there exists the Everlasting Sapling, a mystical plant said to grant eternal youth and power to those who eat it. Naturally, the sapling is sought by many, including the monarch of the Ant Kingdom, Queen Eliza II, who develops the Explorers Association to find it. This brings us to the beginning of our story, following Kabu the Beetle and V the Bee, forming an adventuring party in search of an artifact related to the sapling. And according to the devs, it is supposed to be pronounced V, not Vi. As they journey through the treacherous Snakemouth Pass, they encounter Leaf the Moth, a mysterious individual capable of conjuring ice, which isn't a normal thing to clarify. Together they find the artifact, form Team Snakemouth in honor of their achievement, and are tasked by the Ant Queen to assist in tracking down further artifacts with the goal of finally finding the sapling. The initial plot's pretty basic, but it gets more interesting as it goes. You'll get to see various kingdoms and lands, encounter many different things, and explore the mysteries of the bug world. But what really shines here are the game's characters, specifically the three main leads of V, Kabu, and Leaf. These are your party members for the whole game. Where other RPGs like to steadily add characters, leaving you with a larger, lesser developed group by the end, Bug Fables goes with quality over quantity. The writer can spend all its time around these three, and because of that, they're given a lot of time to talk and comment on their situations. You can make a comment on just about everything, and each have their own dialogue when they scan enemies to tell you their stats. While the three of them have different personalities, they all work well off of each other. V is more forthcoming and greedy, Kabu is chivalrous and honorable, Leaf is cool-headed and sarcastic. The dialogue between these three is a lot of fun, and honestly one of the game's strongest points. Each of them is also given a significant amount of depth and backstory, which you'll encounter as you play. And as a side note to the dialogue, I love how the game includes these small speech bubbles as a way to have characters talk to themselves to provide commentary. The game is also filled with a lot of memorable side characters, from rival adventurers compete over artifacts, to the bugs you meet through various side quests. The world also has detailed lore, with cockroaches for example being seen as ancient elder beings. While not an overly complex story, it's simple done well, and with a lot of character. Bug Fables is a pretty simple turn-based RPG on its surface. You roam around its world, get into turn-based battles when you run into enemies, and in the process gain money and experience. While doing all this, there's some platforming and puzzle aspects, either to traverse areas, or to find items that may be part of some side quests. While you're doing all of that, you'll be taken in the game's charming art style and music. Bug Fables goes for a more cartoony aesthetic, with simple flat designs highlighted by thick black lines. It also gets to leverage its premise in that the characters are all various bugs, which come with a lot of different designs to use. I really like the character designs here. They're generally all very charming, but there are times where they can look intimidating or scary regardless of art style. Then we have the world, where the landscapes and buildings are generally 3D modeled with 2D flat objects used for details. I think it has a very nice look. The game also goes through many environments, from forests to caves to deserts to some really ominous settings. The game is also very colorful. There's a lot to like from a visual standpoint. In terms of sound, the game does that thing where instead of voices, they have the characters talk in these little beeps and boops, which I think they pulled off quite well here. The sound effects are also pretty well done, but for the music, this is a wonderful soundtrack. From charming exploration themes to more tense tracks for dungeons to the fun battle themes. A great soundtrack overall, used effectively to fit all the different tones and places the story goes to. But now let's get to the gameplay, starting with overworld traversal. In Bug Fables, you'll be doing a lot of walking around, exploring, platforming, and puzzle solving. Each party member comes with unique abilities, like V's Boomerang or Leaf's Ice Magic. Using them you'll do things like hit switches to get around, or freeze things to make platforms. Puzzles are generally all pretty basic. You'll gradually get more abilities as you play, encouraging you to go back to old areas and see if there's new stuff to find. As you play, you'll constantly be finding various things, like quest items or crystal berries which you can exchange for rewards. Overall, I think the exploration is fun. Areas aren't too big, fast travel is pretty convenient, and when revisiting old areas and you don't want to bother with enemies, you can equip something that will auto-defeat them if they're weaker than you. But if you aren't, you'll start a battle on contact with an enemy, gaining an advantage if you hit them with an attack in the overworld. This puts you into a turn-based system, where each party member has the option of attacking or using a skill in any order you choose. Each party member has their own function. Fee can hit flying enemies, Kabu can get past defenses, and Leaf can hit them when they're underground. But each character also has their own unique special abilities, like Kabu being able to draw attacks, or Leaf freezing enemies, acting like a stun. Similar to its inspirations, combat also uses low damage numbers, action commands that do more damage when you pull them off correctly, and it allows you to block by timing a button press when you get hit. These make combat more actively engaging compared to just being a bunch of menus. So how does Bug Fables change up the formula? Well, for starters, we have the order of your party members. The party member in front does more damage in exchange for being targeted more. Conversely, the party member in the back does less damage but is targeted less. So while Leaf may not be doing as much damage if you have him in the back, that won't matter if you're using him for support. You could also have party members pass turns to each other, if you need V to hit 2 flying enemies for example, but don't need Kabu to attack. To balance this, subsequent actions will be weaker, but it's a nice strategic option. The whole party order thing is a pretty good system, making you think strategically about who you want in front. Then we have the way the game does stats and leveling up. Each individual party member has their own health, and together they share TP to use skills. Whenever you level up, you have the option of increasing everyone's health by 1, increasing the TP pool by 3, or giving yourself 3 medal points. They also act like equipment in this game, costing a certain amount of points to use. They do a whole variety of things, from granting new skills to increasing damage dealt, to just taking the place of a health or TP upgrade. Medals are the real focus here. An occasional health or TP boost will be fine, but investing in medal points can make you very customizable by the end. Some of the medals work together in fun ways, including some strategies while purposely poisoning a character. I like how the medal system's done here. Gradually accumulating medals results in a variety of subs and strategies that you can easily change to whenever you want. It feels really simple in the beginning, but later on, when you come across one of the game's many optional bosses, you get to see where it shines. There are even medals which do special things like the previously mentioned auto-winning meaningless battles one, which I love, or the equipable hard mode medal. You can turn it on and off whenever you want, and if you beat bosses with it on, you get special medals from it. Don't feel like you have to though, as you can replay boss fights later, and beating them then counts too. I think it's a neat idea to give additional rewards for those taking up the challenge, while also not permanently locking them away. The game actually has a ton of optional stuff, from side quests with meaningful rewards, to special bosses, to an entire card game where cards are every enemy you've encountered in Scan. So is there anything I find especially negative about the game? I do feel like some of the medals are unbalanced, in a design sense. While all status effects have medals associated with them, Poison got a much larger focus for some reason. They could have given the others something, I feel. Then we have the medals like the one that gives 3 TP, which costs 3 medal points to equip. That's just equivalent to taking the TP upgrade when you level up, but you can unequip it to put the points somewhere else whenever you want. It feels like they should have made it a bit worse or more expensive to compensate for it. These are all minor nitpicks, but something I wish a sequel would address. I've also heard some people have trouble with the platforming due to the game's camera angle and art style. I personally had no problem, but it's been mentioned enough by others that I thought I'd bring it up here. There's usually little to no penalty for messing up anyways. It also takes a bit for the antagonists to show up. I don't feel like the game isn't interesting or anything up to that point, but their presence could have been stronger throughout the beginning. But the only problem I really have with this game are minor issues like those, it just shows that I really liked it. Its writing is genuinely quite good in terms of its trio of protagonists, the game looks and sounds great, the combat system is simple but still engaging. This is a very well-rounded game filled with charm. So if you're looking for something to fill that Paper Mario void, you just want a good RPG in general, or maybe you just like bugs, go play Bug Fables. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you liked it for some weird reason, consider leaving a like or comment. If you didn't like it, well, leave a comment anyways about what I did wrong. If you want to hear about more games I think are neat, or whatever random thing I end up making videos on, maybe also think about subscribing. Whatever you choose to do, I hope you have a nice day.